Hey guys, welcome back to the Bull Combo, your source for album reviews, vlogs, live music, and more. Today we're talking Seasons, the newest album by Sylar, so stick around, I'll let you guys know all of the changes in sound you can expect from the band's latest effort. Alright guys, so two quick updates I want to give you guys before we get started. Number one, the t-shirt giveaway is still going. If you want to enter that, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and that you comment down below with your favorite album of 2018. Initially I was having everyone comment on a specific video with their favorite album, but it looks like everyone's just commenting on whatever video they find, which is fine. I'll add all those entries together and in a couple weeks we'll choose a couple winners. So thank you for entering that, guys. I appreciate all the support. The second thing I wanted to tell you guys is that starting tonight and probably weeknights going forward, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. I had streamed periodically before, and anyone that's followed the channel longer than a year knows that I used to host gaming content here on the channel. It's actually part of the reason why the channel was initially named the Bull Combo, was to incorporate a mix of content. You know, as time went on, I started moving toward the music realm. But I still do game, I still enjoy gaming. So starting tonight, I will be streaming, probably just weeknights. If you guys want to check that out, if you want something to watch at night, head over to my Twitch channel, it's the Bull Combo. I'll be on starting around 8 p.m. Eastern time until whenever I get done. But if you guys want to support me there, I really appreciate it. If you don't, that's totally fine. All you have to do is come back to the YouTube channel and you'll see the same stuff you've always seen here. So no big deal there, guys. I just wanted to let you know what's going on in case you guys want to support that, if I have any gaming fans out there that want to see that stuff. So I'll post a link to my Twitch channel down below. Feel free to give that a follow and check it out when I stream from time to time. Alright guys, so let's talk Sylar. This album for me has been a little bit polarizing. I've had a couple days to listen to it and really digest the music, and I'm still a little bit torn on how I feel about this album. There's some really strong points on the album, and there's some really kind of weaker points on the album personally. Before I get started talking about the sound of the album, I'm going to talk about the production quality. Production quality on this album sounds like it's on par with the last Sylar album, Help. It's a really high production quality. All the elements sound crisp, clean, they're punchy, everything's where it should be, everything sits well in the mix. I think overall the mix on the album sounds really good, so that's a plus. In terms of sound, I think Sylar has finally reached their final form, guys. They have turned into a full-on nu metal band. It's kind of funny, if you listen to them over their last three albums, you could hear this slow transition from kind of a metalcore, deathcore style to more of a nu metal aspect in their music. And with this album, I feel like they've kind of evolved to their final form, so to speak. They are now a full-on nu metal band, far more so than even on Help. And a lot of those elements are really apparent throughout the whole thing. So one of the things I did notice first and foremost on this album is that the screaming has been toned down drastically. So if you were a fan of the screams, Sylar screams, and they're heavier, unclean vocals, you may be let down on this album because I can't even really think of many parts that there is screaming at all on the entire album, aside from a few brief moments. And again, you know, with their last album, you could hear them transitioning from that metalcore style to the nu metal and some of the more hip hop and mainstream rock. So I guess it's not really a surprise that there's less screaming on this album, but for someone who was a fan of it, it may be a little disappointing. So when you go into this album, understand that you're not going to hear the same level of screamed vocals that you have heard on their previous efforts. And, you know, for all intents and purposes, that was probably their personal decision because they wanted to evolve their style, which is, I guess, fine with me because that's the way the band wants to be. So that being said, there's a lot more rapped vocals on the album. I would say every single song has predominantly rapped vocals when Jaden is giving his part in the music. So there are a few other points where he does some things. He sings a little bit more on this album, and you can hear him try to expand his rapping style a little bit. The one complaint I think I have for this album as a whole is that the rap style that's used throughout the entire album almost never changes. And whereas in previous Sylar efforts that was okay because the rap vocals were kind of thrown in as a highlight, as kind of a change in pace, in this scenario it doesn't really play out as well because the rap vocals are so predominantly featured on all the songs. There's so much rap that at points it begins to feel a little monotonous, a little repetitive. And again, there are some points on the album where Jaden tries to change things up a little bit, change the rap style a little bit, change the cadence or the presentation, but it still comes off a little bit reminiscent of the last song. So in that regard, I feel like that's probably my one complaint for this album, is that the rap vocals lack a little bit of dynamic throughout the entire album. There's a few points, again, there's a few points where The rap vocals change a little bit, but for the most part it's that very same style. And again, as you listen through the album, it kind of gets a little bit stale. I feel like if they maybe would have incorporated a little bit more screened vocals into these songs, when they did transition to the rap vocals, it would have had a little more meaning, a little more punch, and a little more significance than it does on this album. And I think for those reasons, some people might find some of these songs lacking a little bit. Now, in terms of the song structure, their song structure is very similar to what was on their last album. We're talking verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, end of song. Not much has changed really in the terms of song structure. When it comes to the choruses, they still have those really catchy sung choruses. I don't think that's really going to change for Sylar anytime soon. And, you know, no different than on their previous albums, this album definitely has some really catchy, really memorable choruses. And I'd say after listening to this album a few times, that's definitely the highlight of the album, is Miguel's choruses on these songs. A lot of them are really, really memorable. There's a few that are kind of throwaway, but for the most part, these songs really, really resonate really well, especially when it gets to the chorus. So kudos to them for making some really memorable parts there. You know, in terms of the content on this album, I think Sylar's always walked the line between emotional issues, social issues, and kind of just the standard arrogance that's associated with that style band. Some of the content that they touch on is a little bit cringy. I mean, one of the songs on the album is called Shook. It seems a little bit cringy, a little bit cheesy. The chorus really isn't really memorable, and if anything, it just kind of seems like the whole song was a bit forced. It seems like it came from the idea of, you know, referencing the pop culture term shook that's pretty big right now, and it evolved into a song that probably didn't need to be there. You know, another song I didn't really like was All or Nothing. I mean, I get that they're trying to go for like the Linkin Park anthem style sound, but I don't really think that it fits Sylar very well. And I think it was just a little bit too repetitive and not memorable enough to be what they were hoping it would be. I think it came off a little bit cheesy, a little bit cringy, and the bounce vocals, while I understand that they're hugely influenced by Linkin Park, it almost seems like a really shoddy attempt at trying to sound like them. So that was definitely my least favorite song on the album, probably. Which is ironic because the next song on the album, No Way, is actually really, really good and one of my favorite songs on the album. So it seems like they at least tried to surround those weaker songs with stronger songs to have them fall better into the mix as a whole. So overall, guys, I think that this album is going to be hit or miss for people. If anyone's a fan of the hip-hop vocals, the rap vocals in Sylar, you're probably really going to enjoy this album, possibly even more than their last album, because the hip-hop rap vocals are so predominant throughout the entire thing. If you are more a fan of the screamed, unclean vocals, this album may disappoint you a little bit because it's lacking those in many areas. And if, again, in that same realm, if you are a fan of Sylar's heavier moments, their more metalcore aspects, then you're probably going to be a little bit let down by this album because it is predominantly a nu metal album. A lot of the riffs have been simplified, a lot of the songwriting has been simplified to a nu metal stance. So if you can go into the album with those expectations, understand what you're getting yourself into, it's not a terrible album. It definitely falls in line with Sylar's discography. I feel like it makes sense in terms of what the band was trying to progress toward. Not necessarily something I'm a huge fan of in terms of all the changes they've made, but I feel like I definitely understand why change is necessary, especially in the music scene and in a band. To keep things fresh and to keep them wanting to make music, change is sometimes a necessity. So I definitely understand that. I definitely recommend you guys check out the album. It comes out today. It's going to be available on all music outlets, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, you name it. As always, support the band, go to their shows, buy their merch if you like their material. That's the way to support them. They get the most money from that stuff, so as always, make sure to support those guys. I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. I really, really do appreciate all the positive support. I'm well over 1,500 subscribers right now, and that's just crazy to think that we've come so far in like a year. Go from 80 subscribers to 1,500 subscribers is just nuts. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for swinging by and checking out this video. If you liked it, make sure to comment down below. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what your favorite songs are on the album. Tell me what your opinion is of the album. I definitely want to hear it. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up as well if you like it. If you like the content you're seeing here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell to get notified. Come at you guys with a new video every week, and as always, I want to make sure you guys see it. So thanks again for checking this out, guys. Thanks for swinging by. I hope you all have a great day, and until next time, we will see you soon.